Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows, Star Wars movies that are currently in the works by Disney and Lucasfilm, and a handful of other projects out there as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing that a lot of Star Wars fans have been very excited about has a lot to do with the fact of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni really getting the ball rolling with The Mandalorian Season 4, which, by the way, just recently was officially announced by Lucasfilm. So, Favreau has been heavily working on this for a couple of months now. You know, we actually here have been talking about it for a very long time, about The Mandalorian Season 4, and exactly how it's all going to tie directly into the Ahsoka Tano TV show. And that's one thing to really think about very quick, is that the Ahsoka series is going to lead to The Mandalorian Season 4. So basically, Ahsoka is going to be used essentially as both a bridge in between 3 and 4, as well as before the Mandoverse. It's going to go back and forth a little bit here and there. Sounds like that they will be applying flashbacks similar to what they did with the Book of Boba Fett and more. Now, on top of all of this, one thing that a lot of fans also have been very curious about is, of course, other Star Wars characters, either from Legends or from the animated material, making their way into live-action form for The Mandalorian Season 4, the Ahsoka series, and even other Star Wars shows out there as well. Now, on top of this, what's really intriguing about all of this has a lot to do with what Favreau has planned for The Mandalorian Season 4. In case you guys did not know, both 3 and 4 are being worked on back-to-back. You know, Season 3 won't be debuting now until February of next year, so that leads Season 4 to debut in 2024. So with that being said, however, of course, with Jon and Dave now working on a number of new Star Wars TV shows and projects at the same exact time, Jon Favreau is already heavily working on The Mandalorian Season 4, which is now set to drop in 2024, given that Season 3 has been pushed to February of next year. Now, further, it's described that many storyboards have already been finalized for The Mandalorian Season 4 that is set to be given to fans, of course, new characters and also other characters that are set to debut in the Ahsoka Tano TV series for Disney+. Now, it's described that one major part of the series involves a scene where both Luke Skywalker and Ezra Bridger are set to meet for the very first time on a strange new world that appears to be, or even might actually be, Pilio from the Battlefront video game. This world is very jungle-like and is said to be the destination of Thrawn's hidden base that holds a deep secret rooted to Palpatine. Here, both Luke and Ezra Bridger begin to talk about his father Anakin Skywalker and how Ahsoka Tano was his actual student. This is described to be a scene where Ezra and Luke talk about their masters and what it's like to lose them. This is where Ezra also separately begins to talk about Kanan Jarrus and how he showed him the right path to the Force. This is where Luke states to Ezra that he can teach him to commune with him, much like Yoda did with Obi-Wan to eventually speak with Qui-Gon Jinn. Additionally, it's described that the storyboards, which are finalized to be used in the upcoming scripts for The Mandalorian Season 4, also feature a moment where both Luke and Ezra Bridger take on a couple of new types of stormtroopers that have never before been seen. These are described to be called scuba troopers that are able to travel underwater using scuba gear to travel from one part of the island to the other. Now let me just stop right here for a second. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I feel that one thing that Disney may be going a little overboard with is the introduction of all these different subtypes of stormtroopers. You know, you got sand troopers, you've got the Sith troopers in the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, there's so many different ones that we have gotten. We've got mud troopers, you know, death troopers. There's a lot of them out there that are making their way into the canon. Now, I respect that, you know, because it is an attempt to expand the Empire and their fleet, you know, their entire force. But on top of this, also, I think that it might get confusing after a while if you have so many different stormtrooper subtypes, but that's just me. You know, so these scuba troopers do sound cool because they're able to travel underwater in, you know, a very discreet matter. They're not able to be seen. They can travel from point A to point B without being noticed. So that's a very interesting take by Disney. But the other thing about all of this is the introduction of Ezra Bridger talking to Luke Skywalker. This, to me, I don't know about you guys, but it's going to be surreal to see these two characters existing next to each other. And I think the fact that they are trying to bring in a lot of Rebels animated characters is another big plus. I don't know if you guys saw the leaked Ahsoka Tano trailer footage just the other day at Star Wars Celebration, but it looks fantastic from the very little shred of footage that we got so far. You know, we got a glimpse of Hera, we got a glimpse of Sabine coming back into the equation, and a lot of other things happening. So with that being said, this is where both Ezra and Luke begin to use their lightsabers to take down the scuba troopers one by one. They appear near similar to sand troopers, except with scuba gear. This fight is what leads them eventually to Thrawn's palace. The palace, or his, is described to be on top of a large cliff that overlooks a ton of coral in the ocean that is surrounded by the scuba troopers all lined up for battle, boarding new types of ships that look like cargo ships. Both Luke and Ezra make their way to the base to infiltrate one of the elevators. Luke is said to stay behind, where Ezra insists that he must confront Thrawn himself to free his friend. This friend of Ezra's is said to be Ahsoka Tano, who is being held prisoner, somehow, some way, in a chamber within his very own base. The entire mission is described to be a short mission to free Ahsoka Tano, who will once again be portrayed by Rosario Dawson in the series. Now, this eventually reaches to a point where Ezra Bridger finds out where Ahsoka is and attempts to rescue her, which is very near similar to when Luke saved Leia in A New Hope. So keep in mind that this is basically a rescue mission by both Luke and Ezra to take back Ahsoka Tano from Thrawn. Now, we already know that the Ahsoka series is about Ahsoka tracking down Thrawn and freeing Ezra Bridger, or finding Ezra Bridger. That's basically the general outline of the show. And given that Mando Season 4 is going to follow things up with all of that, it does make a lot of sense that Ahsoka Tano will be held prisoner. It's very likely that her mission with Thrawn does not turn out so well, and that it's all left up to Ezra Bridger now, who is free and discovered, is going to be able to save Ahsoka. Now, the thing about this entire planet, we're not quite sure exactly where it is. It sounds like it's Pilio. It might not even be that, but it sounds like it's Pilio. It's very jungle-like. It has a lot of coral, a lot of ocean around the actual base, and I can only think about that. But when you look at everything related to both Luke and Ezra, I said this before just a couple of minutes, it's going to be very surreal. It's going to be very out of place, in a good way. I mean, let's not be, out of place here as well, but it is going to be a very surreal experience to see both Ezra and Luke talking to each other in live action form, no less. I think that this is a great opportunity to expand all of the Rebels-oriented characters in live action to mix together with the original trilogy-oriented characters such as Luke and R2-D2, etc. It sounds like it's going to be a very good season so far, and given that it is being worked on back-to-back with 3, they really are moving along very smoothly. I mean, time is just passing by. We have a lot of shows also coming out this year as well. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know all this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.